You know, I know a lot of people go through shit throughout life,
Yeah.
but it just, that moment broke me.
Hey everyone, welcome to the channel. My name is Belgian Jasper. If this is your first time on the channel, hit subscribe right now. This will be part 2 of my interview with Lena Scissorhands of Infected Rain. We talk a little bit more about her personal struggles, the journey of the band, and all the things that influenced the new album, Ecdysis. You know, you said, we're just very real, and we know each other. We have to deal with a lot of things. That also translates into the new record. With some of this, what we've heard so far, particularly in Postmortem, when you listen to that song, it comes across as a song at first glance, high levels of anxiety, potential depression, feeling of abandonment, and it's very easy now to go like, well, yeah, the whole world has gone through crazy stuff with COVID. This must have fueled that, and I'm sure that has accelerated elements. But for those that have been following the band and you and then watched other interviews that you've done, know that those feelings might have a deeper and even more personal origin. Is this this was a cathartic album for you to make? You're opening up more than you've ever done. Is that a fair statement?
I don't know if I open up more than before, because every single album is very emotional, and every single album talks about certain things that I've been through or certain things that I was going through at the moment. That this is just what I chose from the start. I wrote poems and little small things here and there way before the band. So that was just an outlet for me to put things down and like to not bottle things in and dwell on things. So it was only for me, or like maximum for like a friend of mine to read. Right. So it initially started like a very honest thing, because it wasn't supposed to be for anybody else. It wasn't supposed to be for people to read, So because of that, when I started being in a band, started being a musician, which wasn't something I planned before. It was just, stars lined in a way where I was at the right time in the right moment, and I was asked to fool around at this rehearsal day with Vidic and the DJ that he was friends with at the time, that was actually a part of the band in the beginning. Yeah. So that's what happened. We were just fooling around, and I just loved it, and we did it more often. And then I was encouraged to do vocal lessons, and things happened. And so I started applying what I was writing about to the music. And it always been about something genuine that either bothers me or used to bother me, or I want to talk about, right?
Yeah.
Now, specifically with Endorphin, which is our previous album, and with Ecdysis, yes, these two albums are a little bit more raw. They are not less real or more real, they are just more raw, in your face. The reason being, 2019 was a really challenging year for the band and for me specifically, because I was going through a lot of changes in my personal life, changes that I wasn't really ready for at the time, and I was just forced to, do certain things and go through certain things, and they were not fair, they were painful. Hell, my whole life was falling apart. It really was. And I am an insanely emotional person, so I maybe take things even closer and deeper than some. I don't know. Maybe not. I know a lot of people go through shit throughout life, but it just, that moment broke me. It broke me into pieces, because it was happening while I was on tour, and it was extremely hard to put my shit together every day and go on stage. And that battle between I can't and I have to was, and not I have to because of the fans or because I owe somebody something. I have to for myself, because that was my therapy. Because I was on stage constantly, it helped me sing about it, scream about it, cry about it, and it was coming out. So it was cleaning me. It was in a way helping me, like I'm telling you this, and it was like 2 years ago, and I still have, I feel it right here. After the 2019, and I was like putting my life together in a way, I barely finally stood up from my knees, and then COVID gave me another slap. COVID gave a slap in the face to everybody.
Right.
But I feel like in my situation particularly, it was insanely bad timing. Some of the themes I touched in Ecdysis are things that I never spoke about before.
Yeah.
Even with Fighter, for example. Fighter is something I never spoke about, like a strong female character before.
You read forever broken-hearted, my ghost of past forever haunted, milk and fire in your veins.
When I was sitting down writing about it, I was thinking about my mom, how much she had to go through to raise her children and stuff like that, And then I thought about other friends of mine that also have families, some that are alone, but they pursue their dreams, and no matter what's happening in their life. And in a way, it was a reminder to myself that you got this, you got this, because today, right now, is what matters, and you are a survivor. You got this. So it's something that I never did before, and I'm learning how to address to myself more and more, because we forget about that sometimes. We forget about the fact that we need that more than somebody else does, maybe. And also other themes, in general in the album are actually connected through what the world was going through. Not necessarily the COVID itself, but I feel like this whole time, the whole planet was going through a deep depression and cleanse, like with all the fires that were happening worldwide and the riots that were happening, and I wrote a lot about that too.
The reality is, when you say I've never written about a strong female before, you are that strong female to a lot of younger girls that are looking at somebody like you and think, this is possible, I can do that. And that's a pretty cool and amazing thing.
Thank you. I was told that, and I bring that up a lot, probably I should stop dwelling on it, but I just can't understand how that was even possible to say something like that. I was told a couple of times that I'm not metal enough. And that was probably the most weird thing I ever heard, because what does that even mean? Who wrote a definition of what being metal means? You know what I mean? Like, that is useless. There are certain, like, I guess, certain expectations from a metal band, and you're like, okay, it's gonna be loud, dark, and whatever, and that, but yeah, like, I've been told that I'm not metal enough, and this is not gonna go anywhere because, of my persona, of my personality, and so I don't know. I guess I'm thankful that my musicians and my boys in the band accepted how colorful I am and how creative with the looks of the music videos I am, because sometimes they are very colorful too, I'm very thankful for the fans for accepting us the way we are, and not expecting us to be anybody else besides ourselves. So
You are awesome for watching this video. Click right here to see more content like it and subscribe to the channel.